What up, people? Welcome to Code Talk. I'm your man Jay Will, here with my man Archie Bunker, AB.
You know, that's your number one, that's your main thing, that's your everything. You want to do whatever it takes, you always
Happy
behind
wife,
it.
happy life. And that's a real comment.
Unless, and this is a big unless, if happy wife means your wife has a happy life and your life is miserable, then you gotta figure out whether or not you really want that shit. Like, there's no point in doing every and anything you can for a woman, and she's doing almost every and anything for you. You know what I'm saying? Because then it'll lead to you doing the same thing to her, and then now your whole life is just y'all going back and forth arguing about a bunch of dumb shit.
This and that's what's wrong with people in general.
Yeah.
Like, we go into things with expectations for people, and when they don't meet those expectations that we have, we get upset. But we gotta understand that they not us. Like, at the end of the day, the same way you think, that other person don't think.
Well,
And hold on, let me finish.
okay.
And you gotta work with people to get people to a point of compromise. And it's gonna take a long time for you yourself to learn to compromise about some things, and it's gonna take a long time for whoever you're dealing with to learn and compromise. It's gonna take a long time. You gotta understand. The age we at, we done been doing what the hell we wanted to do for that long time. And every time we with somebody, it's a different thing that we learn to do, and it's even a different thing that we like to do. So when we get with somebody new, we're learning a different them and a different us all at the same time. And the problem with most of us is we don't stay in it. We get discouraged. But like, for anything that you love and anything that you want, you gotta stay in it. Like, you gotta fight for it. Because if you don't, that's with anything you want. The way you want to live your life, you gotta grind, you gotta fight for it. The people you want in your life, you gotta grind, you gotta fight for it. That's just the way it is. Because everybody in your life, 9 times out of 10, is going to do something to hurt you one day. And who they are determines how you receive the hurt and what you take it as.
But it's I hear everything you're saying. And
it's hard.
It makes sense. Like, all of it makes sense. It's never good to expect somebody to be you in a relationship. Like, that's definitely, you shouldn't expect that. What you should expect is maybe a certain level.
Stop. I heard it
Was
click.
that-
Oh, that was mine. You ain't turned it off. You just had it going.
A certain level of respect for, who you are and what you're bringing to the table, and then you definitely want them to respect the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's if you clean up a house and then they come in behind you and they dirty the shit up, and it's like, hey, you're not even gonna pick up after yourself? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Look at what I did, and look at what you did, and it's, oh man, you make me like this. You know what I'm saying? Or like, if you got
but you have to take accountability for that. Like, once you get into something with somebody, they didn't change. You got into it knowing who they are and who they were. So those things you got into it agreeing to deal with. You got into it agreeing to deal with everything you didn't like.
Okay.
Now, if you didn't say nothing about it beforehand, it's your fault.
Well, yeah,
Now,
that's
if
true.
you say
That's
something,
true.
now
That's true.
if you're saying something about it now, you just keep saying something.
Okay.
And do it in a loving way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've even had to learn myself, like, fussing and arguing gets nothing accomplished. Like, because nobody's listening. Everybody's just trying to prove a point. And when you're trying to prove a point, you're just waiting for your chance to go.
Yeah.
You don't even hear what the other person is saying. You just waiting for them to breath.
get in.
Okay, boom, it's my turn.
You stopped, I'm in there.
Yep.
I
You know
ain't
what I'm
finished.
saying?
There you are.
Exactly. You're not even listening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta sit back sometimes and
But that's not
Just-
that's never a good thing to say though. Like, oh, you met me like this, because then it's like, if I got a girlfriend and I cheat on my girlfriend with you, and then I leave my girlfriend to be with you, and then I'm cheating on you with that girl. Yeah, well, you met me like this. No, but that ain't right.
It's still the same thing. It is.
Ain't no woman in the world gonna tell you no shit like that.
But then they shouldn't say it about anything else. Every.
So then that goes back to my point. If I'm doing this and you doing this, and I change this and you change that, I'm not comparing neither one of the two.
Right.
Only thing I'm saying
they both
is
should be a change should be
you
made.
don't like this and I'm gonna stop it. I don't like that. You should stop it. That's it. Fuck what the action is. We
That's
just know
exactly
for a fact
right.
that we both don't like these things. Let's change it. So now when I change this, or if you change this, and I don't change that, or you don't change that, now it becomes a problem, and now we butting heads because now you
But
have
you
one
also
person
know-
feeling
you
like
also
I'm
know-
doing more than you are.
You also have to look at it like this. At the end of the day, when you decide to get with somebody, you're deciding to say, how much of their BS am I willing to deal with? Like,
Yeah.
what can't I deal with?
But that takes time though. Like, it takes time to
But you
know
got to
how
start
much.
figuring that out from the start.
Yeah,
like
it takes
what can I
time.
deal with? Like, you should know by the time you say I do,